My name is Colleen, and this is my kitchen. I've struggled with my weight my entire life. After trying every diet in the book without any success, I came to the realization that diets don't work. I started my journey in January 2010 at a size 26W, weighing just over 300 pounds. By July 2011, I had lost over 120 pounds and reached my goal of a size 12, no W. And I have kept the weight off ever since. What's my secret? Eating healthy and moving more. Now I'm here to show you how you can make food that is healthy and delicious and lose weight just like I have. Because if I can do it, you can too.
Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight I have a really great vegetarian dish for you. And I've told you before, vegetarian days have been a cornerstone of my weight loss success. I usually go vegetarian 1 or 2 days a week, and that has helped me to not only lose the weight, but to also keep it off by giving me some leaner protein days. So tonight we're going to be making a dish that's really, really rich in vegetables, all kinds of good for you vegetables, so chock full of vitamins and nutrients. We're going to be making a roasted vegetable stuffed baguette. It's really good. It's actually very easy to make. You just have to mix up your vegetables and roast them up and then stuff your baguette, and that's about it. So it's going to start with one small eggplant here. And I'm just going to trim off the ends, and then I want to cut this into pretty small cubes, about ½ inch roughly square. So what I do is I take the eggplant and slice it lengthwise, just like this. And one more for good measure. And then I take those lengths and I'm going to slice them again lengthwise into basically long sticks. And now I'm going to cut them across the width, just like this. So when it's done, I have these great little cubes, and these are going to roast up and cook down and have a really great caramelized, creamy kind of flavor. I love these roasted vegetables with bread. You can make a bruschetta using the vegetables that we're going to roast. You could also toss them with some pasta or some rice, or try scrambling them up with an egg for a great breakfast. Once you have your eggplant cut, then we're going to take one baby zucchini, cut off the ends, and same thing, I want it in about ½ inch cubes, so I'm going to cut it lengthwise in both directions first. And it will usually cut into about thirds for me, and then just cube it up, just like that. Next up, I have a red bell pepper, and I love to add this to the dish because it adds some really great color to the dish as well as flavor. And so for this one, same kind of premise. We just want to chop these up into smallish pieces, about ½ inch, and add that right to our bowl. Next up, I have a cup of cherry tomatoes. I'm using these great sugar plum tomatoes. They're kind of shaped almost like a Roma tomato, but small, and they are just sweet and have a fantastic flavor. So I love to roast these up because they add a nice kind of juicy, sweet flavor to the dish. I'm just going to have all of these cherry tomatoes up just like that, add them right into my dish. The last vegetable we're going to add is a red onion. We only need ½ of it, so I'm just going to take ½ of it here and go ahead and trim off the ends, and then take off that outer kind of papery layer. So once I have that all neatened up, Make sure you don't have any of those onion hairs left on your knife. And what I'm going to do is just chop this very roughly into smallish pieces, just like the rest of my vegetables. For these, I look for about 1/4 of an inch on these, so slightly smaller. Now that I have all of my vegetables chopped up, I should have mentioned at the beginning, I have my oven preheating to 425. And what I'm going to do to help these roast up really well, I'm going to add some olive oil. This is really essential to the roasting process, and I'm using 2 tablespoons. And then for a little extra flavor, I'm going to also use 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And you can whisk this up ahead of time and add this to your dish, and you can just dump it in just like that, just like I did. And then last thing before we pop these in the oven, a really generous pinch or 2 of course the salt. That's it. Now I'm just going to toss this up. I want to make sure that all those vegetables get really well coated with that liquid. I've sprayed my baking sheet with a little bit of olive oil, so now I'm just going to take these vegetables and go ahead and lay them out in a single layer on that sheet, on that baking sheet. And I'm going to go ahead and cook these again at 425 for about 30 minutes. I want to give them a good toss about halfway in between, just to make sure that everything's roasting up nice and evenly. Our vegetables have roasted up beautifully, so now let's finish this dish. We're going to do that with 1 ounce, about 2 cups loosely packed basil leaves. And I'm just going to coarsely chop these. And you'll see I'm using the same bowl that I mixed my veggies up in before we roasted them. Haven't washed it. I'm just going to reuse it and get some of the same flavors out of it for this next step. So take the basil, add that right in there. And then I have 1 ounce of shredded Parmesan cheese. It's about 1/4 cup. You want to make sure to weigh it though, because I found that 1/4 cup is a lot of times less than 1 ounce. So that's where a food scale comes in really, really handy. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And then we'll take these roasted veggies and we're going to add them right to that basil and Parmesan cheese. Give that a good toss. Finally, we come to the baguette. Now I'm using a whole wheat baguette, and there's something that you should know about bread, and that is that a standard serving size is 2 ounces. Most baguettes, you want to check the length, but most of them are actually 8 servings. That's right. This will feed 8 people. This is 8 serving sizes. So what we're going to do tonight is, first of all, we want to hollow part of it out to create kind of a boat that we're going to stuff this vegetable filling into. And so to do that, I'm just going to take my knife, and you want to make sure to use a serrated knife. It makes it a lot easier to cut through. And just take it down both sides of that bread, again creating a sort of boat. Think of a canoe. So taking this out is going to do 2 things. It's going to reduce the amount of calories in the dish because we're going to be using less of the bread. but it's also going to create a space for this lovely stuffing that we have created. So now once I get that out, I'm just going to take my fingers and kind of pull out some of the excess interior. If you love bread as much as I do, it's hard to throw this away. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll use it to feed the birds. But it's a great way to save on some calories, and we still have this great, great, great crusty interior or exterior. Now with the bread that I just removed, I removed about 6 ounces of bread, just doing that one little step. That's about 3 servings. So now I'm going to set it here on my, back on my baking sheet. Might as well use the same one, doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to take this filling and stuff it right into that space that we created. Once it's all prettily stuffed, look how beautiful that is, all those great colors. I'm going to go ahead and bake this for another 5 to 10 minutes. The oven is still at 425. I just want to warm up the bread and get that exterior really nice and crispy and flaky. Our roasted vegetable stuffed baguette is done. Look how pretty that is. I almost don't want to cut into it. This recipe is going to serve 4 people. Now I told you earlier that one baguette is typically 8 servings, but remember we took 3 servings out of it, so that is going to help improve the nutritional value of this recipe. So now all that's left to do is to go ahead, cut into this. Just like that. I'm serving this with a side salad. Not that I need any more vegetables, but I have some great lettuce fresh in my garden, so I wanted to serve that up tonight as well. So I'm going to go sit down and enjoy my meal. I hope that you will give this a try. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time in my kitchen.